When I'm tracking my dogs, I like them to be able to indicate the direction of the track right from the scent pad. So often, I'll turn them sideways to the scent pad and let them show me which way it goes. This is a young dog that I'm just starting to stretch out onto long straight tracks. He's been doing really well on serpentines, and so now I'm starting to get him stretched out and working the longer tracks. He still needs to learn how to stay focused and concentrated, and how to take all his energy into the footprints, going heel to toe, footprint to footprint, article to article. Quite often, after an article, the dogs want to jump up and run forward to track again. They love tracking so much they want to go back into it. So I'll usually put a serpentine right after that article. The dogs begin to expect that, and they say, oh, I got to slow down, pay attention, I might miss a piece of food here. One of the ways that you can help keep the dogs focused is by adding lots of turns to a track. I do angle turns, right turns, left turns, just to kind of break it up so the dog doesn't become bored and just keep walking in a straight line. They have a hard time believing that they should follow a turn, and so quite often they'll walk right over one. But when you throw quite a few in, they get pretty good at paying attention. To teach a dog not to track too fast, I use blocks. A block is basically just a very, very light pop, and it means food is coming. I actually teach that, where I give a little light block and they find a piece of food, a little white block and they find a piece of food. Pretty soon they tend to associate the block with food, and they'll say, oh, there's food coming up on the track. A piece of snow flew up and hit my camera. And I can add rewards to it, verbal rewards. And just as the dog finds the footprint, finds the food, I'll say good, and add that to it so that when my dog is working, I can tell him, yes, this is the correct behavior when there's no food in those footprints. He's tracking a little too fast again. Turn comes up just about that time. I'm laying this track with food every 5 to 15 paces, and without food, every about 17 to 19. I mix it up quite a bit. You want to be careful that your praise doesn't guide the dog through the turn. It comes after the turn, after the dog's committed. On this track, I'm laying food every 5 to 15 paces, and no food every 17 to 19 or 20 paces.
Very nice.
I like to use lots of praise and lots of throwaway words where I'm just telling the dog, that's nice, very good, keep going, just keep working. So the dog knows he's doing the right behavior. He knows I approve of what he's doing. You can't see it yet, but there's a deer in the woods, and he really wants to smell that deer. He wants to stop and go pay attention.
Good.
I didn't do a very good job of getting the articles with my action cam on this, so watch for later. I'll have a video that shows how I work articles on the track. If you want detailed information about article training, you can go to my book, articletargeting.com, and see what I do to teach articles from the beginning off the track and later on the track. Here's a serpentine to help slow the dog down after the article. He's doing a really nice job here, finding the food and the footprints. Before long here, you'll be able to see him really paying attention to the deer, and I'll just work through that distraction with him. Nice pace right there. And you'll see him here in just a minute start to speed up. He's a little conflicted here because he smells that deer. He wants to pay attention to it, but he also wants to keep tracking. Block for tracking too fast. But he's got a little conflict with himself, and you'll see him right about here in just a second. He's going to look at the deer and say, oh, it really smells good. Again, blocks are just very, very light pops that mean food is coming. There's the deer. I just tell him, get back to work, keep working. Later, I add distractions on the track and teach the dog how to work through them. But typically with the young dogs, I just teach them, keep working through the distraction. Quite often young dogs get confused when they're tracking. They forget what they're doing. They will down on the track. I just ignore that. It goes away over time. You'll see him here in just a minute. He's just going to down on the track and say, ooh, I forgot what I was doing. What am I doing? And it's time to go back to work. Go back to tracking. Snow tracking is great because in the snow you can see your footprints, you can see exactly what the dog sees, and you can tell if he's actually putting his head or his nose in the footprint and showing you exactly where it goes. There's a deer here off again to the side. If I wasn't tracking in snow, I wouldn't have noticed here that there's deer tracks. And he does a very nice job here of just working through that and going on with the track rather than stopping to smell those deer tracks. When you start laying cross tracks, you can use the snow for that. The trick to tracking in snow is remembering that snow is very different from grass or dirt. So when the snow starts to melt, you have to track in the melting snow so there's some grass poking through the snow. If you go straight from snow to grass, the dog will have a lot of trouble with that. He won't understand. So you have to be careful to track as he's going through it. Here I'm actually kind of walking to the side of the dog and letting him see that I'm here. It's a little bit of a distraction for him. Quite often in the test, people will be making noise and things, and that helps the dog work through it.